I'm gonna kneel down, and like when he's done ranting, I'm gonna like look him in the eye. Well, guess what, buddy? Some love stories end up miserable because the two people involved did stupid shit that they now can't undo. And trust me, I know because I've done it.
G'day! Welcome to Stream of Chaos. My name is Dave, and I'll be your keeper of arcane lore for this session of Call of Cthulhu. Today we're continuing Chapter 2 of A Time to Harvest, as we have been for the last several episodes. You can get your own copy of this tremendous campaign from Chaosium.com, and all the previous episodes that we've been streaming are all available over on the Chaosium YouTube, so you can check those out there. If you're watching on the YouTube, be sure to let us know what you think. And also, if you want to join us live, we do stream each Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific over on the Chaosium Twitch channel. I'd like to thank Roll20 and Sirenscape for being great little tools which we use to improve our games of Call of Cthulhu. And without further ado, let's reset the scene, let's meet our investigators, and get back into this disaster, chaos, hellfire thing. Last session, you all returned back to Arkham after a fairly daring chase. That was actually the previous one. And then you had to escape from a hospital where people were really just trying to help. You cast them away. There was some witchy nonsense, which is best left undiscussed. And you made your way out onto the streets to seek out Sebastian's family home. There you made a new sort of like base of operations before splitting up on Thursday afternoon. It's now about 4 p.m. when we pick up. A couple of days before the weekend, and sought out both Robert Blame, who believed to be in an Italian mafia-run speakeasy where Seb and Chaz are, and Katie and Joe both headed off to the library to see what nonsense these imposters were getting up to. So as we go around the table, could each of you please introduce your investigators? And also, what I want to know is, you guys had a rough few days. You were bandaged up, stitched back together, but you've had a chance now to have a sleep, have a shower, get a fresh change of clothes. How well can you pick yourself back up with only, 8 hours of sleep and a kebab? So, Art, why don't you begin for us?
Hey, I'm Art. I am playing Sebastian McCarthy, one of the McCarthys at the Miskatonic University. I have a slight correction. It is not Seb's family home. This is a house that they use for like 2 months of the year.
That's true.
It is like their winter debutante ball season. Gotta be in the city. Easier to like crash here than go all the way back to New Hampshire, which, is where he's based. Family home's much bigger and much nicer. Anyway, Seb is out of like everyone who got properly messed up in the last session before last. I don't know that he has like too many obvious physical wounds. He has a pretty nasty burn mark and some pretty interesting, henna looking bullshit.
That's kind of hidden
mainly made
shirt.
of burnt veins.
Yeah.
But most of that is easily coverable by like, his standard shirt, tie, jacket kind of attire. The most notable thing I think is that every now and again, like he'll sort of kind of contract or like have to stretch something out because as like all of his muscles just randomly tense. And he moves very slowly and needs to take time to just sit down and just have a mo every now and again.
Have you found like an eagle-headed cane of your grandfather's or something back at the family house, and you're carrying that now? Something really weighty that you can lean on and then improvise a bludgeoning tool with.
Is there an animal on the McCarthy family crest?
There's gotta be. There's gotta be. It's also a badger.
Oh man.
That is a very, very good
Go
point.
squids.
Go squids.
Squids.
Go pods.
We might be looking at a deer here, a buck.
Yeah? A
Oh,
stag
yeah.
or something is always cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to come back to it?
I think we're looking at a stag.
I'm liking the idea of a stag, yeah. So
Hell yeah.
it's a stag. Seb's family is old money, which means that the cane he picks up is well made, It is like very sleek. It is like silver topped. There is no animal head design on it because that would be new money ostentatious. You don't need to show you off your
tacky.
wealth. Yeah, you don't show off your wealth. And if it's like grandfather's, it would have been made and it is still amazing. But yes, I think he does have like a cane that is
Awesome.
helping him to sort of get around a little bit better. But obviously when he's not suddenly fatigued, it is more of a like, oh look, I just stand here looking fancy.
Looking snappy.
But every now and again, you do notice he puts a lot more weight on it than perhaps you would imagine for someone in their early 20s.
That rules. And you can sort of take a moment, like take a breather on it. So joining Seb down in the sort of like still setting up bar in the dark, confronting Blaine, we have Jackson, who's playing Chaz.
Hey, that's me. I'm Jackson. I'm playing Chaz Dedrick, who's doing just fine. You think this is the first all-nighter is pulled? It's not. He goes hard.
I was like, you actually did get a full night's rest just earlier, so it's actually...
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's true. That's all right. He'll get into the theme of it. He'll get the feeling of, oh, staying up late, causing trouble, and having a great time.
Are you pushing hard for an all-nighter to come up? You're just excited about it? You want to hang out?
Yeah,
Can't
that's
wait.
right. But overall, doing okay. Didn't need to go to the hospital. Sanity, could be worse. Yeah, I think he's still running on adrenaline, which is good. He spends most of his time running on adrenaline,
Does
to be
seem to.
honest.
Because if you
Yeah.
stop and think about things, you might realize that, that things have been mistakes and stuff. You can just ignore that. Don't sweat it.
That's right. That's
Are
right.
you carrying a weapon or anything at the moment? I think we said you're not carrying a shotgun or a bat or anything. But
No, his weapon of choice is now a baseball bat. But you don't really want to show up to a mafia club wearing that.
no, it's a little extreme. So I guess as the two of you stand over Blaine, it was Seb that stepped forward and confronted him. How's Chaz looking? Is it a big looming figure behind you sliding into the bar? I mean, you've got a personal vendetta with this guy. He was the one that was threatening to get you expelled and talk shit. How you feeling?
Which guy?
Robert Blaine.
Oh yeah,
The leader
Blaine's
of the
here.
expedition you're at.
Yes. How could I forget? No, this feels great. I feel like I'm in a position of power there, which probably isn't true, but it's what I feel like. I'm just happy to stand back and watch McCarthy fuck this guy up.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, Chaz is on board. Across town, Katie and Joe are in the library, and let's first meet James playing Katie.
Okay, fantastic. I am James. I am playing Katie, once a calm, studious bookworm who has gone on a spree of radically more active activities until at last, I think her last actions, playing insane, then breaking out of a hospital, and breaking several other people out of a hospital, is definitively going to get her expelled. I think that Katie has lost everything. She's got nothing left to lose, and she's here for the truth. She's the cool academic, if that were a thing. And she, mousy hair tied back, eyes set and focused, a real kind of aura of dedication around her. The vigor with which she usually throws herself into her studies have all been turned towards revenge, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, she wouldn't put it like that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, the important qualification is Katie thinks she can't lose anything more. She thinks there's nowhere lower to go, but there's depths yet unplumbed. So
I mean,
news.
technically the GPA can't drop any lower, so you're wrong.
And everything is measured by viability in future careers. So you're back at the library. Is there any guilt for your previous crimes, or is maybe a temptation to just grab things and start ripping them to shreds?
I think, I mean, not necessarily temptation in that she wants to go and start randomly tearing books, but I think at this stage, Katie has seen the institutions that she put so much faith in during her life fail her. So she is now looking for every avenue that she can use to try and get back at these people. If she needs to tear books, she'll tear books. If she needs to go and rough someone up, well, Joe can do that for her. But,
Hell yeah. All right, well then, as Katie and Joe explore the library and spot Professor Roger Harold speaking with Dr. Armitage and leaving the rare books section, which attaches to the restricted collection, let's meet Alex playing Joe, who had a much worse couple days.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm playing Josephine Johnston, who was a very athletic student at Miskatonic there on a scholarship for track. Had an encounter with a broken window and has been stitched back together, but is not doing great as she's kind of sneaking around the library with Katie at this point. She's got a lot of bandages going on, has managed to kind of cover them up with a tracksuit and all the main ones. She's also got a strange kind of almost chemically burn on her hands and on her forehead, which she's kind of dabbed a bit of makeup and powder over to try and make it a little less obvious. And her hands, it's approaching glove weather, so she's pulled on a pair of gloves and has a hat kind of shoved into her back pocket to cover the worst of the rash on her forehead. And she's not doing great. She's a bit twitchy, and she's moving a bit slower than she normally would, and occasionally she kind of mutters to herself as though she's talking to herself but somebody else. It's been a bad few days.
Yeah, it's been
not
rough.
Great.
Indefinitely insane, still have a major wound.
Still a bit mad.
Yep, and now creeping around the library trying to, see what else you can find. Perfect. All right, so as we pick back up, let's focus first on Joe and Katie, who are moving through the library. What we established at the end of last session was, as you guys came up, you saw Professor Roger Harold, your history teacher, and also, in theory, the person who okayed the previous expedition out to Cobb's Corners. Both of them, the one where John Jeffrey was captured and the one where Katie and her friends had a fairly rough couple of days. He comes out of the rare book section, which is a secured wing of the library, and you know that inside that is the restricted collection. It is directly adjacent to the offices of Dr. Henry Armitage, the director of the library. He has a short couple of words with him and then heads back inside to the rare book section. But as he does, you guys are on the second level and he's sort of looking about and things. Could I get both of you to please make stealth tests with bonus dice? And if there's any other skill you'd like to argue, this is basically just saying, do you get picked up by like sort of a passive scan of the area? Well, let's go back so we can see the results.
I'm going to use my stealth because I'm actually quite good at stealth.
Yeah.
But I do think it would be hilarious to argue in this case actually using library use.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of able to navigate the shelves and all of that. All right.
I think that's hilarious.
Actually, have I ticked my library use? I have ticked my library use, otherwise I'd use it. Okay.
That's a man looking ahead for experience points yet unspent.
Mate. Buddy, why?
Not great. Not a good start. With an immediate fumble on my...
Just
best
an
skill.
Oh, there it is.
fumble.
Yep.
Simply incredible.
Tremendous. Well
use.
done, Katie. You do have a bonus dice, so there's a chance to...
To unfumble it.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so that is a success from Katie, but unfortunately, Joe, you get... Oh, no, sorry, was that...
No,
Oh,
success.
that's the first one. Well done. Okay, I stand corrected. So
Dead on, 20 on 20.
as Harold's coming out and looking around, you both sort of like slide away from the book stacks, and what begins is just a cursory glance. You do see he is lingering in the doorway. He checks both sides and he makes sure that no one is too nearby, and then heads back inside. You see the door click shut and he locks it. Access to this room is restricted, as is the further more secured one, and all of the windows have been frosted so that you can't easily see inside. Dr. Henry Armitage has returned to his rooms. Is there anything you want to do? You have not been spotted.
What if we wait for him to come out and see if we can slip in after him? Like jam the door somehow?
It's a good idea, but it looks like he's pretty alert. I think that let's have that as our backup, and if we can't think of anything else. The only idea I have is that we have this letter, you know, that we got with Harrod's name implicated in it. I'm just wondering if we can use it in any way to try and, I don't know.
Blackmail.
Make him look bad. I mean, he says some pretty mean things about Wilmarth. I mean, maybe, I don't know, are academics particularly spiteful and competitive with each other?
It seems that way, yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah. Maybe
I don't know.
take it to Wilmarth, maybe, and
possibly could. The problem is we're just playing so much in the dark here.
yeah.
The other thing is if these people had professors on their side, then the whole game's different. They're not going to. If they have access to the restricted collection already, then whatever this heist looks like is going to be very, very different.
as he went inside, you did notice that Dr. Armitage seemed perturbed by the thing. He seemed, fairly serious about everything, and you got a vibe he was vaguely unhappy. You didn't get a close look at him, so no further information, but the whole thing isn't peaches and etc.
Maybe we go to Armitage with it. People are abusing his collection, and people who are saying terrible things about their fellow professors, and maybe he's a curmudgeonly old fellow. He probably hates it when people go rooting around in the restricted collection. Maybe we see if we can get him kicked out.
I mean, I don't think it's enough to get him kicked out. At the end of the day, it's a message that has a mean little thing on it about Wilmarth, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. I think we need more information. I think we best probably go and talk. I think talking to Wilmarth is not a good idea, but I also want to try and keep some kind of eye on what's happening here. Maybe the two of us should split up. One tries to observe here, one tries to observe Wilmarth. We can meet back shortly and try and reconvene.
Yeah, right. Where would Wilmarth be?
All the professors, most of the professors have accommodation on campus or just off campus, like little cottages and things. He's probably in one of those. Do either of you have a course with him? He teaches literature.
Nope.
I think Sebastian does. So Sebastian might know where his course are. But either you could head to the administration building and try and look up a teacher's residence, or ask around. Otherwise, you could you could try and ask around, see if you can find
wandering around on the university while there are potential watchers lurking about. I mean, yeah.
Alone?
Yeah. All right. I reckon we have to make a decision. We either stay here and I don't think we're doing anything. We'd just be watching. So that makes me think, let's go find Wilmarth.
I mean, we could do something. We could cause a distraction, get him out of the restricted section, slip in, see what he's looking at, take it. I mean, it's worked for us in the past.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we let him find the letter.
Oh.
We say we have a message for him, and we try and get somebody to go and give him the letter, and that might make him come down out of the restricted section.
Yeah, we've got a letter for him.
I don't know.
You guys are also in fairly serious risk of being grabbed again if you're caught somewhere on campus.
Yeah.
I was wondering, which letter are you thinking is blackmail?
I'm thinking that it's time to harvest handout 10. It's not great. What it is it just implicates it implicates Harold and having said something a little mean about Wilmarth, specifically the second last line of the paragraph. My suggestion is that damnable Wilmarth is behind it. It's not blackmailable, but it's just a little embarrassing. It's enough to sort of maybe get him out of the room, but I think you're right. Possibly it's not a big deal.
It's a letter he wrote.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But the idea is
didn't want it getting out.
It's out. Somebody has this,
sure.
And is disseminating it. So
I'd say I don't think it's particularly damning. It doesn't actually admit to.
No.
Well, it doesn't. It's like talking a bit of shit. It's probably not positive, and it might damage his reputation with Wilmarth. But beyond that, it's probably not going to get him, lose his position or anything too serious.
Look, hanging around on campus.
What do we need from the restricted section? I mean, are we just following Harold? Is there information here that we want or need?
We want to figure out what they're going for. At this stage, I don't think we're going to be able to run some kind of heist. I'll tell you what, Joe, I think we go for Wilmarth. I think that trying to pull off something here, we're both in such dire straits already. Let's stick together so we can help each other and try and make it across the cottages and track down where this guy
Wilmarth
is.
and see if Wilmarth will help us.
Yeah, well, help us, or if we can figure it, pretending, because there's always the possibility he's not on our side, but we can try and figure out why he was trying to deny funding for the oil and chemical expedition.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I don't think we can get anything here, and even if we get the books, even if we can get into the restricted section and get the books, that's all, I don't know, history. might tell us what they're planning, but
Yeah. Okay.
I think we need people on our side, or at least we need information about what's going on here and now.
You're right. Let's do it. Are you feeling up to walk across the cottages?
Yep. I'm swell, don't worry about me. And Joe's gonna kind of reach into the pocket of her tracksuit and pull out like a little bottle of tincture and just take a swig. She's definitely like, it's definitely like an opium syrup or something.
A little self-medicating from whatever you grabbed from the
Where it's
nightstand
not the
next to your bed.
dynamite that you've got.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so heading back out through the library. It's afternoon. It's not as busy as you might expect it to be, and as you go back through the main doors and out onto the streets, you can hear that people are all around the campus, standing out in like the common area, talking and gossiping and things. You go through the across from the Robert Carter Memorial where the dance is going to be held, and you can see that there's students lining up, already pre-buying tickets. They cost 5 cents a piece, and they're all making sure that they get in and make sure they have a couple of stubs for them and their dates. There's also people set up nearby who have taken the year's theme to heart. The focus of this is going to be giving reverence, I suppose, to the currently ongoing Miskatonic Antarctic expedition. So the theme is, you know, Antarctica and wintry things. And inside you can see they've like gotten fake snow and they've like hung up crystal, frost rime in the windows and things. And a couple of students, entrepreneurs, I suppose we'd call them, have purchased a bunch of knockoff Antarctic expedition gear and are selling them as costumes. So they've got like snow goggles, heavy parkas, maybe like a sled. They don't know who's going to want that, but they're offering it. And so they're trying to grab people coming past and put them with like these huge goggles and like thick parkas and things. And again, it's like heading towards fall. It's not that cold just yet, but just people are excited about it and they're beginning to build it up. As you make your way past that and up towards the cottages. You'll also notice one more thing. Going past the dormitories, last time Seb and Chaz went through here, there was a car parked nearby, Gibbons's vehicle, which was watching the 2 dormitories, and it doesn't immediately appear to be here. It might have moved, it might be swung around somewhere else, or they might have thought they'd been seen and relocated, but currently somewhere else. And you kind of look around you as you move across campus and see if you can spot the missing students. Can I actually get you both to make education rolls? You head towards the cottages and there's a few different locations. They're vaguely ordered more by like cliques amongst professors rather than classes. We'll go back. Failure from both. Okay.
I can luck it if this is pretty critical information.
No critical, but it's just going to slow you down. So you head towards the first set of cottages, and looking through them, you don't immediately find Professor Wilmarth's section. He's not a very social person, and actually you have to speak to a few professors that you do know, and their first answer is, you know, I don't really, he might live in this area. I really haven't spoken to him too much. I am sorry. And you begin to check off locations, moving around and spending a couple hours trying to chase him down. But there's only so many. And you do know that he lives on campus, so it's just a matter of finding the right one.
Just acting on, you know, it's not on the handout, so I presume it's not. There's no address markings on the letter or anything like that we have. Oh, it mentions Wilmarth.
The letter mentions
him.
No, it wouldn't have anything about him.
That's right. So you begin to look around and spend a bit of time, but we will come back to you in a moment. Meanwhile, back downstairs in the club, Sebastian and Chaz, you've walked forward to confront Robert Blaine. Heading downstairs, it's a very sort of like low-ceilinged, improvised space. There's a heavy oak bar that dominates the room, and to the rear of it are a number of glass shelves containing liquor bottles and advertised spirits. There's a large man behind it with like, you know, sort of like work white shirt rolled up over impressively sizable forearms, and there's a band space which is currently being set up. It's like a drummer, you know, practicing a couple of riffs, and it's going to be jazz music as occasionally there's a from a trumpet or something in the rear as they get everything tuned up for the evening. A couple of bar staff come and go from a back section where they are bringing buckets and things and cleaning everything off and making sure it's ready. And the only current patron is Robert Blaine, the man who was in charge of your most recent expedition and it was pretty much completely incompetent when it came to it, or actively malicious. When you find him, he has slid himself into a booth, and he has a pile of empty shot glasses across from him. One still has just the dregs remaining in it, and he's kind of spinning it between his thumb and forefinger. And then a loose scattering of crumpled bills and coins, clearly emptied from his pockets, and the last remaining money he has as he tries to drink his way off and into oblivion. Artie, the man from upstairs, nominally a bike salesman who came down with you, kind of props up against a wall to the back and watches you approach. But Seb, you step forward, or actually I think you slid into the booth across from him, and Chaz, you loom nearby as Blaine looks at his drink and like hasn't quite looked up at you. Seb, how do you introduce yourself?
Robert, it's nice to see you. I think we need to have a conversation, don't you?
He looks up, and you can see his eyes trying to focus in the dim light. And he goes, McCarthy.
Yeah, and Dedrick too.
He looks up. He does start as you yell, and a couple of the people around look over, and he sees you, and he slides away to shrink towards the back. But as he does, he puts a hand down to drag all of his accoutrement with him, and he slams the remainder of the shot before waving over towards the bartender, one of his crumpled bills. He goes, "Come on, man, just give me a couple more. I want to get through this conversation. It's gonna be the only goddamn way." How'd you even find me? What do you want?
We want to know what's going on, Blaine.
What do you mean what's going on? This ain't clear. It's all wrong. It's all folded in on itself. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to do it all for her. And then all of this work and blood and promises and for nothing. How come that's fair? I gotta sacrifice and they could just take whatever they fucking want and just leave it. It's goddamn bullshit. He's in a pretty bad way.
Mm-hmm. What promises, Blaine?
Dark promises, you fucking weird things, and that rind little deputy, and he said that he could bring it back to how it was. First time we went, she still looks at me, and when we were all friends, and it was gonna be good, and it fucking things, man, in the woods, and those goddamn fucking monsters that just ruined everything. He said it could go back. How come that couldn't just happen? Where's my goddamn drink? He slams a hand on his shoulder, and the bartender does head over and drops a shot.
I actually will have, like, when he waved, I want to look to the bartender and be like, just subtly shake.
Mm-hmm.
So he can rant and rave all he likes, but the bartender is very, very I'm very happy for them to bring him water, but anything else I will just kind of sort of try and make that go away.
You do that, and Artie, standing nearby as well, will nod to the bartender, and he just goes back and won't bring anything over. And Blaine, sort of having had a short tirade and gestured out towards them, just lets his hand fall and almost forgets about it for a moment. Seems to be lost back in his not so distant memories.
Hey McCarthy, starting to think that he's not much good to us here. I think we might need to drag him out, maybe put him in a room with his own thoughts till he sobers up. Maybe then he can be useful, but he's just rambling.
Fair point, but just a moment, Chaz. Robert.
What?
Is this about Daphne?
He looks off. He goes, of course. Everything's about Daphne. I did it all for her. I just wanted to make things right.
The reason that nothing is the way it is because they lied to you, Robert. They give no shits about you or your life. They only want to do whatever it is they're planning on. And, well, as much as I would love to let Chaz here beat the ever-loving Christ out of you for, you know, framing us all for murder.
Yeah, what's up?
I think maybe we might actually be able to help you.
As you gesture to Chaz, he looks up at it, and he doesn't really shrink away from it. There's probably enough sort of self-loathing buried in here that there's some level it's like he probably thinks he deserves it. But when you say framing for murder, he doesn't even deny it. He doesn't even, he just goes, he like almost scoffs and goes like, I just did what they told me to do. I did whatever they told me to do. And now here I am, drunk, alone, at the edge, and she's not back. Or not in any form I want to ever talk to again. At this point, Seb, you're pretty closely talking to him, and Chaz, you're watching the whole thing. Chaz, you notice Enzo, the younger guy that was there, the kind of like the hot-headed one that was talking to the leader, comes screaming down the stairs. Like he scurries down them, almost slipping on one of them. He's wearing like those very slick leather-pointed shoes, and he slides a bit, lands next to Artie, and like hurriedly says something to him. Artie looks over, snaps a hand at the bartender, and motions to the three of you to say keep watch, and then both of them head back upstairs. When the door opens for just a moment, so you can hear upstairs, you hear raised voices. Chaz, can I get you to make a listen test for me, please? Just to see what you pick up.
Oh, just to see what I pick up.
Just to see what you pick up.
Just to see what I pick up. Lost my character sheet, but that's all right. I'll find it. I got too many tabs. Just to see what I pick up. There it is. And that's how it's done.
Oh, you're good. Listen.
Oh.
Raised voices. You can't make out the exacts, but some of the accents are Irish. And then they go running upstairs, and the door clicks shut again. You notice that they both left. The bartender's watching. He seems not super nervous. He kind of just seems like, that's my new job. I'm not cleaning. I'm watching the three of you. As Seb, you haven't really noticed it. You're kind of like talking to Blaine pretty focusedly. Blaine just continues looking down at his drink.
Kathy, there's some trouble happening upstairs. I think we're about to get caught up in something. I think we've got to get him out of here now.
All right. Stop him from going anywhere for a moment, and I'm gonna get up and walk over to the bartender.
Yeah.
And say, are we allowed to leave this establishment with our friend here? We have a couple more questions, and I don't think he's in a state to really answer them here.
Listen, I recommend you sit on him for the time being. Things are heating up a little upstairs, but everything will simmer down in a moment. Just ride it out, sit with your friends. Artie will be back soon. He'll let you know what to do.
There's no back exit that we can get out of. I mean, we don't want to be embroiled in anything that's going on. We literally just came here to pick up this ass wipe, but
Afraid he's pretty embroiled. You better have a seat. That said, can you please do you want to make a charm or a persuade test?
Sure. I'll go with charm. I'm not.
You're just being friendly.
Yeah, I'm just like, look, I don't want to make trouble for you. We don't want to be in any trouble. This is obviously above our pay grade. Can we leave, please?
Yep. Okay.
Success.
Nice. Without rolling a psychology or anything, you get the impression that this dude is a soldier. Like, he follows orders, and you're not going to shake him. That said, when you say, is there a back exit or anything, he pauses before saying, afraid not. There probably is, but he's been told to keep you here for the moment, and no roll, or, you know, it'd be like very extreme and like a really pointed like argument to try and get him to shake. He's been told to keep you down here, and he's going to. There might be another exit though, and if you wanted to start trying like pile around places. That said, he's watching you, and you'd probably get he'd intervene before anything had happened.
I will make my way back over to the table, and I'll just like kind of aside to Chaz go, It sounds like if we stay down here, we will be okay, and once that is done, we can leave.
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it, McCarthy. I don't want to get caught up with, the state you're in. I think we gotta split.
Blaine
Well,
like
if you-
slumps forward onto the table. He's gonna be difficult to move. He's just he's a heavy rag doll at the moment, and possibly one that can
hold
actively
him.
resist.
I'm gonna be honest, Chaz. You are a very, very good fighter. And I'm not terrible when I'm not.
Lightning struck.
Yes. I'm glad that's where everyone else's mind went. But I feel more confident in the ability to talk our way out of something like this than fight our way out of something like this. However, if something does happen, I do think there may be another way out of this establishment. And just kind of like sort of head motion towards the back of it, like indicating there may be a back way out. I'm speaking softly. I'm not like, I'm only really trying to speak to Chaz at this point.
I got you. Blaine could probably hear if he was in a space too. He does not seem to be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when you tell me to haul an ass, I'm gonna haul an ass.
I appreciate that.
Gesturing at Blaine.
Yeah. I'm just like, don't worry, and don't feel the need to be gentle. I'll slide back in to the booth and just go. I don't know if there's a way to make things back to the way they were, but maybe there's a way to not make it any worse. Robert?
Things can all go back. You should see what they're capable of. Those buzzing things. It's miracles. It's incredible. I mean, what they did to those students, it defies logic. I mean, if I can just speak with them again, and if I can explain what I'm willing to do.
I'm gonna slap him.
There's like a bright red hand mark on his side, and like he's like drool drops down across from it, and he stands like dumbstruck for a moment. Do you want to give me a intimidation or persuade or something? Is this trying to like sober him up for a moment, or are you just giving him a smack because he deserved it?
I am trying. It's definitely like, I'm not trying to intimidate him. I'm trying to make him realize the dumb shit that is coming out of his mouth right now, and he needs to fucking realize that he's a fucking idiot.
Yep.
So I guess persuade, but also yes, he absolutely deserves this. And if it wasn't for such a sorry state, like if he was more like Laszlo at this point, do not fucking worry. I would be ruining his entire life and his family for generations.
Yep.
But
There's
he's
still
a
time
sorry
for that.
piece of shit, so I think he's already like done that for himself.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and make a persuade roll and see if you can sober him up or get through to him a bit.
Hard success.
Fuck yeah. You slap across him, and the strike sort of rings out across the bar, deadened by the wood. There's a firm print, and I think you said you wear like a ring. Like you've got there's that.
I will slap him like left-handed because fuck this guy.
Yeah, there's like a groove
and-
where it impacts a little bit. And he just like he looks down shocked for a moment. And when he looks up, his eyes have cleared a little bit. He's still drunk, but there's enough to kind of bring him back for the moment. And he looks up to you and he just goes, "Fuck you both. I'd do it all again." And at this point, as you say why, the door up top swings open, and now you can hear much more raised voices from outside. Some yelling in Italian, others going back in English in an Irish accent. You can't make out everything. Seb, you hear it as well at this point. And Enzo, the young guy, comes flying down the stairs again, hitting to the landing and like sliding across it almost. He looks to the bartender and he goes, "Go upstairs now. They're gonna need help." And he starts rushing over towards you, like moving between tables and things. Do you want to say something before he gets here?
To whom? Sorry.
To
Or
Blaine. It's like you said, like why? So like, do you want to continue that? Like he's beginning to make his way down as you talk to him.
Yeah, I'll say why.
Did it all for her. I just want her back.
There's a lot of things we want, Blaine, and she isn't coming back.
She's so close. She's only over there. And he's like looking out through the stone off in the direction of Arkham. At this point, Enzo comes like sliding through tables and things, and he gets to the two of you, and he goes, "Fuck that fucking hammer! God damn it! They're gonna fuck everything up here. They're screwing with our man, and we're gonna make a goddamn deal. They want him. They're gonna string him up, or I don't know what, and we're gonna give him to him. Not on my watch. This is my chance. I'm gonna be a fucking hero. You two, get him up. I'm taking you out the back. We're making a run for it."
Yes.
All right. All right.
He gets you up, and as he goes, "All right, Marco and Artie are gonna come down soon, and they're gonna want to give him over, and they're gonna give him over to the Irish, but they're not gonna goddamn get him, because if they want him, they can't fucking have him. Get him up, get him up."
Chaz?
Blaine is not moving.
Wait, they're here for him?
Chaz.
Yeah, and I don't know why, and they're not gonna get him.
Chaz, get him up.
All right.
And I'm gonna like give you a look of trust me on this.
All right. I trust him. I will haul an ass.
You go over to like grab Blaine, and he does this like half-ass like slap out of the way. He goes, "Don't fucking touch me, Dedrick." Do you want to give me
I'm
a
going
fighting...
to punch him.
Not if I can do it first.
Chaz,
Pile.
make a fighting brawl test with a bonus dice from Sebastian's assistance, and I'll roll with a penalty dice because he's
Blaine,
shit-faced.
you're outmatched, mate. This is gonna be good.
Oh, the
my
bonus
Good
dice.
thing I had that bonus dice. 80 over 76.
I'm rolling with a penalty, so it is going to be a failure. So you go for him, but currently it's just a scuffle. You go to grab him, and he bats your hand in the way, and he like shrinks into the back of the booth, and he's got his feet up, and he's like kicking out at you, and he goes, "I'm not going anywhere. I go out there, I'm dead. They're gonna come for me. They're gonna find me, and they're gonna kill me." And he's just like scrambling backwards. Enzo looks between the two of you, and he goes, "Get your fucking man in order and get out of here." He pulls a pistol from like tucked under his waistband, and he heads towards the doorway, towards the back room with all the staff, and he starts yelling, "Everyone get out, clear a path." What are the two of you doing?
I'm gonna say to Chaz, hold him.
Got a gun though.
No, hold.
Sorry, not Blaine.
Blaine.
Enzo has the gun, and he goes towards the back.
I
Sorry,
thought you
no,
said-
that's okay. That's my bad. That's
I
my bad.
was alright. I thought the game
It
changed.
escalated.
If
No.
the drunk Blaine's got a gun, now we're in trouble.
Actually. Sebastian has a gun.
Curious.
So he's just gonna like, and I said I think I like tucked it in behind, like, you know, somewhere.
Yeah.
So actually at this point, no, that is a little bit too much right this second. So I'm just gonna say to Chaz, hold him, or like get him up. And if Chaz can grapple him, I'm going to clock him across the jaw and try and just like get him out.
So Enzo heads to the back, kicks open like the double doors that lead into the back
If this
of the
doesn't work,
house.
then I'll pull out a
People
gun.
begin to scatter around, and meanwhile at the top stairs, the door opens and doesn't shut this time. You can see a couple of figures come inside, and they're beginning to head towards the doorway, but they're silhouetted for the moment. They haven't made their way inside yet. Failing this one, and lingering for too much longer will have fairly severe.
I am gonna like say to Blaine, do you wanna die? Because staying here is gonna do it.
He's so drunk, so little that is getting through. So Chaz, you're gonna try and grab him again, and Seb, you're gonna try and hit him if he does.
Surely am.
Okay, just straight roll this time, Chaz. I still have a penalty dice as he tries to kick back at you. Go ahead and make your roll.
Oh, there we go.
That's how it's
back
done.
online.
Nice. I will say he's gonna try and dodge. I think would more be. Actually, no, it's going for grapple, so it's builds based. So penalty dice. Oh
my God.
But the penalty.
Would he, would he not have
Blaine!
would he not have two penalties because Chaz is a bigger build?
Blaine is also build 1.
Oh, okay.
So as you go in once again, he's mean, and you try and grab him and push him
hold
back
on,
towards
so
it.
it's a draw, and it's a
Beating.
fight. So Chaz wins.
This is trying to get him into a grapple at this
Right.
point. You're moving forward. You're holding him there and getting. He's not trying to deal damage. He's trying to not be in the grapple. So you try and get him. He tries to kick back towards you, moving towards the back of the booth. Seb, what do you
Don't
want
we
to do?
break the tie with the?
just gonna fucking pull out the
I think
gun
that's
and point it
an
at him
alternate
and
rule
be
we've
like,
used.
I'm gonna pull out the gun and I'll be like, move.
Okay.
And I literally will point a gun at Blaine and just go, you can die here or you can die up there, or you can live out there. Move.
Make an intimidation roll.
I have no intimidation.
Yeah.
I assist.
I'm
attempting to be persuasive,
You can't
I just
assist,
happen to
actually.
have a gun.
This is at the same period. This is one of you went for the brawl, and one of you went to try and assist.
Oh my god, this
You
is
pull the gun,
chaos.
and it's like he doesn't even see it. He's still just kicking back at Chaz as this happens, and he goes, "No, I'm not going back out there. I'm gonna die. They're gonna kill me." At this point, coming down the stairs, Enzo looks back towards you, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing? Run!" Coming down the stairs, you see the first figure is a woman with curly hair squeezed under a fairly wide cap, and she's carrying a case like slung over her back, and walking behind her is a very tall, slender figure who, as he steps behind him, snaps out a switchblade and just begins to look around the area. From the front, you hear the woman say, "Well, would you look at this, Loich? Couple of rats found themselves a little hideaway, and look what's down there." The bigger one, the like tall guy, begins to walk down the stairs, and from their perspective, they don't see Enzo around the corner. They just see the two of you cornered, and they haven't drawn like shotguns and things yet, but they are walking towards you. They've seen you. They've seen Blaine, and they're coming forward. She says again, "You better hand over that little rat, or else you're going to be in trouble as well."
All right. It's all yours, but we're coming with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna like, as they come down the stairs, I'm gonna put the gun away so it doesn't look like I'm armed, and yeah.
Make a sleight of hand test. You've got a gun drawn. They can spot a firearm.
Oh, I'm not trying to like. Okay, if they see that I have it, like I'm still gonna like just. Then if they know I have it, I will obviously put it behind me and then like, show that I have put it away. Like I'm not trying to.
If they see you have it, the woman at the front's gonna say, "Drop it, kick it over here."
All right, I'll drop it and I'll kick it over. I have literally no interest in. I also can punch better than I can shoot.
Okay. It like slides across the ground, and Blaine's still at the back. Chaz, you've kind of turned your back to him. He delivers like a feeble kick into your thigh. It's not enough to deal damage. He's just being petulant. From the back, what do you guys say? These two figures are coming across, and they walk forward and they go, "Go on, give him here. We don't want the two of you."
Give him. We're coming with them. We got business to discuss with you as well. See,
Chaz?
I think Higgins is expecting us.
Higgins.
Listen, the two of you ain't in any kind of condition to be making demands here, all right? Hand him over, and we won't kick the crap out of you. You ain't enemies at the moment, you're bystanders, and I promise you want to stay that way. Give him here.
The only issue is that we are, I believe, unless I'm misreading this situation, we're currently in the middle of an establishment owned by what I assume to be the Italian mafia, and it seems you're not part of that. So if we hand him over and you walk out with him and we don't go with you, there's a solid chance we are not going to just be bystanders. We're going to be collateral, and we'd really prefer not to be.
We already made a deal with the man upstairs. Everything's copacetic, all right? Just give him here, and let's wrap this up. That said, would you like to make a persuasion roll? One of you can make it, and the other one can assist with a bonus, but it's gonna be hard.
I got that right, didn't I? We're expecting the Irish to be friendly with this.
Higgins is gone to speak with them.
It's and also it's not Higgins' name. It's O'Banion is O'Banion?
Higgins is O'Banion's nephew.
Yeah, so
and
like
O'Banion's the big man in charge. So no, there's a chance. They may be friendly too.
So persuasion with a bonus, did you say?
Yep. It's gonna be hard though.
11 points. Come on, give me. I think we.
All right. You may have 11 points of luck.
Okay.
I think this is gonna make it much easier.
All right. So yes, 11 points of luck for a hard success on a persuasion. Essentially, just go. Also, I believe we are acquaintances of Harry Higgins.
That's cute. You can both sit in the back seat together then. Lloyd's grab him. Lurch stands around the side, the big taller fellow. He reaches down, like grabs Blaine by the cuff of the collar and delivers like a smack to the back of the head. And then Chaz, do you help him like get him out, or do you like go like, this is your problem now? Yeah,
No,
100%.
no. If they'll let me, I will haul him bodily up the stairs, bumping him, stealing him up everyone.
Okay,
You
so
know, his shins are not going to survive this trip.
the tall guy like gives him like a smack of the head, and then you grab him, like pull him out, and you're the one that pushes him forward, clearly making your opinion of the man very well known. Lurch, the taller one, walks just behind it, and the woman next to you, Seb, will go up the stairs as well. As you go, you'll spot Enzo standing on the other side of like the double doors. They've got this like circular look into the kitchen windows, and he's looking out at you, and he looks pissed. The other two haven't spotted him. Do you say anything as you go past, or do you make to Enzo? Do you make any eye contact? Like at the moment, he just looks angry.
No, I'm not going to make any eye contact with Enzo, because I didn't want to die,
Okay.
so I think this is a perfectly reasonable thing for us to have done.
Totally
So
justified. He tried to get you
don't-
involved in a gang
Yeah,
war.
he tried to go against what his superiors told him to do. Like, I'd rather Enzo be mad at us than the entire Italian mafia.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, awesome. So he gives you a little like a glare as you go up the stairs, but he's like, fairly young. You water for duck's back. And Chaz, you continue to like jab Blaine up the stairs. He's like,
I will
he's done. He's so drunk. He keeps on sliding against me. I have to like grab him and pick him up them. He can't really navigate the stairs himself. But you begin to make your way back up towards the bicycle store upstairs.
Did the lady grab my gun?
Yeah. She would have grabbed
cool.
it, and she just like puts it into like a pocket. She's carrying it.
that's
As you walk alongside as well, she looks down at your cane a couple times and just sees the weight in it. But you do use it a bit. Like it doesn't seem to be purely weaponry, so they don't push the issue and take it from you. As you head up,
I mean, if she looks at it, I will be like seizures.
Sucks. Upstairs in the bike shop, you can see it's like walking into the aftermath of like a standoff. Everyone's like just begun to step down, but it's very hostile. In the doorway, so you come out into the bike store and it's empty on the inside, except for Artie, who's placed himself back behind the counter watching everything. And as you now come up from the backside, looking at, you can see there's a shotgun just underneath the counter, which he's like loaded and has sitting there just in case. Outside on the street, there are two cars parked, each with drivers still inside them. And standing across from them facing is the older Italian man who's standing up to his full height and is watching everything, and Marco the bartender is nearby. He's talking to them in English, a bit broken but easily understood. And across from him is a tall man with slick back hair, wearing a fairly nice, sort of cleanly pressed suit, and he has what looks like a shopping bag you might get groceries with, just held loosely in his right hand, but there's like a single heavy implement inside it. Is all he's carrying, and he's swinging it ever so slightly back and forth. And this man is speaking with a very thick Irish accent. As you come out, the man looks over and goes, "Right then, get them in the back of the car." And the Italian man says in broken English, and very thick Italian accent, he says, "We're gonna let this lie once, Mordecai. This was hallowed ground, and you fucked with us. There's gonna be retribution. You see that." And he sees the two of you come through, and he just levels a finger and he goes, "You broke trust," as you go out. The woman shoulders you in the back and pushes you out towards the car, and you see in the backseat of one of the vehicles is Harry Higgins, like looking out like the kid that's been left while the parents do shopping, watching everything that's going on. And he sees the two of you, goes, and then slides over, like jams the door open, and will help you to shove Blaine inside. What are the two of you doing as this all happens? How are you holding yourselves? It's basically walking in
Seb.
the middle of this.
Seb does what Seb does best and goes, I have walked through a room full of sharks in human clothing before. This is fine.
Yep. Chaz?
Hey, again. Come on, buddy, bring these snacks with you.
Slide in the back seat. He goes, yeah, no, I've been eating all morning. He like hands you a bag of chippies or something in the back seat, and Blaine is jammed in between two of you, and then one of these two enforcers gets in the front wheel and begins to start the engine as this whole thing begins to separate. Dwell down slightly, and they begin to drive away. Looking out the window, you have to wonder, is this the frying pan or is this still just the hot water or whatever the saying is? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Blaine, you want some potato chips too? I grind some into his hair.
Oh my
He's
god.
just sitting, looking down. He fought you the whole way up the stairs, but he was like, exhausted at this point. He seems to be just sort of like staring mopily at the ground, examining the carpet underfoot. The car pulls away and begins to head uptown and intend to cross the river. All right. So that leaves the two of you. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Katie and Joe, you've spent probably a couple hours searching apartments and trying to find places, and it would now be sort of like 6 or 7, still sun up, but heading towards the end of the day. You basically crossed the town, searching every section of it, when you find what you believe to be the address of Professor Wilmarth. It is a very simple squat cottage, like a townhouse almost, with 2 stories. And out the front, there is an untended garden, which has gone a little bit wild. And as you walk up towards the front door, double checking the address, you notice that there are some improvised reinforcements on it. It's got one of those, like a latch you can sit so things can't be picked as easily, like jammed inside it. And looking inside any of the windows, they're all drawn, and you can spot it's got like those iron shutters on the interior so that no one could just break the glass and get inside. It's a little bit like paranoid. Additionally, as you approach, you hear from inside
Oh my
of like
god.
some little tiny dog that just loses its nuts
Angry
as you
rat
approach.
dog.
Before you even get to the door.
You've got
Joe is swaying by this point.
Yeah, exhausted.
If it's been hours, Joe's just like,
We'll get you inside, but I hate to ask more of this,
I'm
but
fine. I'm good.
okay.
I'm aces.
This stuff, these shutters, this lock, does it look new to you? You've got mechanical repair, right?
Yeah. I can probably have a look at it and see when it was potentially installed.
great
If
idea.
it's...
Make a mechanical repair roll.
Mhm.
Oh,
Hey.
nice. Well done. With that, even without it,
Yeah.
I would tell you that it looks like there have been recent upgrades within the last year or so. Nothing super fresh. It looks like it has
Yeah.
been in place for about a year. And there are some things that were done probably like 4 or 5 years ago, like quite a bit. Like you've maybe got a history of paranoia. Or
Mix and match.
yeah, like this is not the immediately recent, like done due to recent events. This has been here for a little
Okay.
while at least. Some of it's
Yeah,
probably done
mix-
over the summer, which is
Yeah.
when you guys just came back and stuff.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
dog
mix-
continues to
mix and
go
match,
ballistic.
Some of it's new, some of it's not. Look, a couple of weeks ago, I would have called this paranoid. Now it seems kind of appropriate.
If anything, it's a little undercautious, right?
Yeah.
I guess we just head up, we knock, we don't know what this is gonna be, and look,
I think that sounds like a chihuahua.
or it's maybe a puppy and he got it recently, but I choose to believe Chihuahua.
Pomeranian.
Look, I think we go up, we knock. If Wilmarth's in with them, then Wilmarth knows already. We're not going to give anything away by spilling the beans to him. I
You
think
know what? I think I agree. We spill the beans, and you know what? If we give it away and we look crazy, what's one more person, right?
Exactly right. I mean, how much deeper can the hole go? All right. I still feel
Yeah.
nervous knocking. Do you mind?
I'm just gonna bang on the door, just straight up.
If the dog was barking before, as soon as you start knocking, it just goes mental. You can hear it. It's definitely a small dog because it's flying back and forth up and down a corridor inside, losing its shit. And from one of the like adjacent houses, you'll hear, "Shut that damn dog up!" As footsteps come from inside, you hear a slide lock undone, the rattle of a chain, couple of clicks near the handle, one more bolt, and then when the door cracks open, actually no, the chain lock's still in place because that's the purpose of those. It like cracks open, and Wilmarth peeks around the corner. He is a thin-faced professor, very like weedy, and he dresses in tweed attire that's a little bit too large for him, or he lost a lot of weight for a while, or recently. He's got round glasses perched on the edge of his nose, and he's currently holding what looks to be like a kitchen knife that he just grabbed. You spot it like around the corner, like he's holding it like behind his leg, trying to hide it, but doing a remarkably poor job of it. He's also currently, just like a tweed suit, and he looks around the corner and he says, sorry, I'm not expecting any visitors today. Quiet.
They're trying to reach beyond the stars, and they've replaced people, and we need your help because it's getting real bad.
Professor Wilmarth, we
This is entirely appropriate. We just really need your help, and I don't think any of us will survive much longer without it.
Can I make a psychology check to see if he started
First of all,
flagging?
that's hilarious. It's like the first opening line. You don't get that from like door-to-door salesmen. They've reached beyond the stars, and what you need is a vacuum cleaner. Go ahead and make a psychology roll, Jim.
Oh my god. Okay, good. I love it. I love it.
Adore it.
That is I think it's because I'm shocked too. I kind of
What? He's clearly a bit. You see a visual reaction as soon as you say it. He his eyes widen, and he clearly recognizes it. There is such terror around this man that it's hard to tell if he's swinging one way or the other. Though. Joe, can you give me a social test? What skills do you have? You're going for
I
logic.
think she's just gonna say, look, let us in. We need your help, and if you don't, it'll be bad for everybody.
Can I assist by? I'd like to fumble and pull the letter that I have and say people are talking about you behind your back, and we have proof.
Okay.
You're involved.
Paranoia.
You're involved already.
I like it. So it's I've got the scaled success. So normal success will get you one thing, hard for more, and extreme for further. Go ahead and roll. I'm giving you 2 bonus dice. One for the way you just said it, which it's perfect for the character, and a second for the information, which you sort of like slide through the mailbox, and he will like take that and look over it, and you see him go, Harold.
Oh, okay,
I mean,
well, that's luckable.
It's luckable and also bonus. No, another bonus.
Very bad. Come on.
Oh, one off an extreme.
You should luck at one for an extreme.
I'm gonna luck at one for an extreme,
Personal
obviously.
humility.
Obviously, yes.
Okay.
Personal pride.
You pass the note through, and you say like they're trying to contact beyond the stars, and he takes it and he goes, I knew it. I knew it. Outside agents here already.
Can you let us in?
They're moving
please?
fast. Yes. He opens the door, and he says, and he gets the door up, and then he remembers, like, you're not armed, are you?
No.
Joe looks bad.
Okay. Well, he goes, well, remember, I am. And he holds up the knife, and he goes, so nothing funny while you're in here. This is my house, and
We're not funny people.
No.
Bitsy, back. And this little white fluff ball backs up a bit. And just looks up at you in a very much like this is my house, you sons of bitches. Watch where you tread. You both step through the door, and he only gives you like an inch to slide through awkwardly before slamming it shut. And you can see on the interior, it's got a like string of locks all down it. There's also mail, which has begun to build up on the interior, and most of the lights aren't on. As he walks down the hallway, it's kind of dark, and you can see along the carpet, it's sort of threadbare where someone's paced time and time again. He he waits for you to pass him, and then so he doesn't have his back to you, he goes that way, forward, first door on the left, and you walk away, there's a set of stairs which go up to probably like a bedroom and things. On the right, you can see there's a bathroom, and then on the left, the door that he tells you to open exits into a sort of like a living room space. There's a writing desk, and it's adjacent to a kitchen. Everything's neat. It's clean, but it is unloved. It's very practical. He has just like a single chair that he sits in. There's no space for guests really. And so you sort of like maybe pull out like a footstool or something to perch on one of those if you spend any time here. And the kitchen on the other side has like, you know, like a couple takeout containers, and it probably doesn't look like he's used the oven in ages. He's clearly nervous this whole time, and like Jesse point, he's got the letter which you're reading, which you passed from Katie, and he's like reading over it and goes, "Damnable Wilmarth. Damnable Wilmarth. Well, damn you, Harold." What are you guys doing? You walk into this room.
I'm going to collapse into a chair and take a little space.
Yeah, we'll tell you everything we know, but they've done a number on us. Could you get Joe a glass of water?
I'm not leaving you alone in my house. You
Fine,
can get it for her.
I'm good. I'm just sitting is good. Sitting is I'm all right, Katie. Sitting is what is required.
Okay.
There's this water in the tap. Don't touch the fridge. That's all personal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wasn't gonna.
Okay.
And
Okay.
starts like sipping the water. We have a list of books that they're interested in, that they want.
Hold on. They're interested in. I need to know what you know, what I know. I can't trust agents. Could be everywhere. There's been events in the past.
We'll give you our perspective, okay? We were on the second trip, the field trip, the one that you tried to stop here, and we can see that you tried to block it.
Yes.
Bad things happened there. Very bad things, and we found something extraterrestrial while we were out there, a mineral, a rock, something that they knew about, and they confirmed that it's extraterrestrial. And I'll pull out the other letter, the one that Leomarth wrote to Abelard, and I'm hanging on to this one, but I will show it and say, and they know it's extraterrestrial.
Of course.
And then they've been targeting us. They've been doing everything that they can to get us expelled, to try and get some of us into legal trouble. And then, you know, as we started digging around trying to clear our names, they did things like this. They have people.
Joe's gonna like lift up the corner of her shirt and show like the massive, like huge bandage scar that's probably due for a change.
These people are capable of violence, and they're capable of violence in ways that seem unnatural. We just want to survive.
We found John Jeffries. They'd grafted organs to him and split him. I know, I'm telling. Split him 9 ways, left one for him, and used him to communicate, to speak, to see, to hear.
This is insane. If they're here around, and I knew they were outside in the hills, but I always imagined they'd stay there. That always seemed to be that they never seem to want to chase. They never seem to want to come into town.
They can take the form of people if you hadn't gathered.
I knew they had agents. I knew they had people loyal to them, but to take mass people, this is new. This is a development. Why'd you come to me? Why'd you come to me? Is this going to bring this to me? This is just going to draw attention to me now.
You were mentioned in the letter as somebody trying to stop this, and we're also trying to stop this.
We're about to be kicked out of this university, so we're going to go very far away from you in a minute. There'll be nothing that blows back on you. We came to you because, frankly, we're all out of leads, and we need somebody with a professorial position to help us. They're in the restricted section right now, and whatever they really want, whatever the real information is, it's in there right now. And if they get it, who knows what they'll do with it.
Restricted section. They're going after the tomes and things, but I mean, they'd have their own information. Well, why do they need our selection? We're just beginning to dabble with things in that kind of space. Dr. Armitage wouldn't let them through. You need permission. You need a teacher to get in.
They got permission. There's a teacher.
Harrod's in there right now. Armitage doesn't look Harry about it, but Harrod's there. At least he was. We took a while to try and find you.
We're not good at that.
No.
Listen, I suspected something like this might have happened. I had a discourse with a gentleman some years ago, which ended rather poorly. I've seen some things, some beginning of what I believe you are witnessing, but they weren't human. They could masquerade. Sure, they could pretend for a time, but they weren't human. I've begun to learn the beginning of where they're from, and it's distant, far away. It makes... They must be here for...
Beyond the stars.
Yes. Yes. They... Listen, I can put you in contact with Dr. Armitage if that helps. He's had experiences of his own, and we've begun to work together, to try to uncover things, try to protect what we can. Understand, I have a unfortunate disposition. My hand, he's like holds up the knife, it's like going like rapid. He goes, I'm not so acquainted with confronting things so much. I've had my time in the spotlight, and I found it rather disconcerting and uncomfortable.
That's
if you'll
okay. We're
take my drift.
good at confronting. So that's you can stay in your house.
Good.
But if we can, we need a professor's permission to go into the restricted section. We know what books are after. Do you have the list of books, Katie?
I have. I think Seb had it last, but I made a copy of it in my journal, so
sense.
I'll pull that out. If you can get us in contact with Armitage, yes.
I can do that. You speak to him. Explain what you've seen. Explain what you've seen so far. You said human agents. Have you seen anything more? Anything indescribable? Truly horrible.
Oh yeah, the floaty, shooty lightning thing with wings and.
Tall.
I mean, John.
Buzzing. Capable of astounding technologies. It floats impervious to most. It damages things. I've seen them too.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, impervious to all damage.
Nothing I've seen
Is there
has worked.
anything you found that?
But
no?
there's, I know I've researched since. I've tried to understand these things. They can be affected. It's modern, mundane implements. They're on another plane, another shift. They're different physically to you and I. These things are only glancing blows. There's something concrete, large, sizable, blunt and wielded instrument, like a brutish.
Jazz.
Like a baseball bat?
It will have some effect. Yes, but listen. These things that you begin to glance at, they're not like you or I, and they're not completely undefinable. They have purpose. I had a correspondence with a gentleman for some years. He claimed there to be things in the hills around Vermont and to be further away all across the globe. He claimed that these things were scientists, researchers from another place with purposes on our world that I never truly grasped. They're not exclusively hostile. I've seen them strike deals in the past. I've seen them make promises. They made such promises to me, and though I found the terms to be disagreeable, I made my escape. But my friend, he wished to see the stars, and I believe they have taken him with them. He's been offered to see such things, but they're here on Earth for a purpose. They seek materials in the Earth that we do not use, but which are valuable to them, immensely valuable. They have a base not far from here. You must believe me. There is another planet in our solar system, only briefly discovered. They call it Yugoth, but we only recently have given it another name. None of you are like astronomers. You wouldn't really follow, but you have like scientific interest.
I would technically
Yeah.
have 10 in it.
I completely say it again. Katie, you probably, and you're a nerd, you've been following the research. Hey, another planet was found not far ago. We're gonna call
It
it
was.
Pluto.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. He like goes and gets a clipping and he says, I knew of this planet years ago when my friend first pointed it to me. This is their most closest base, Yugoth. We name it another, but this is, they hail from here, at least most closely. And what they're doing on our world, I tremble to think.
Well, this mineral, the places that they're looking for it, does it match up with these? And I'm going to list the places that we have seen oil and chemical have operations. So the Pyrenees,
Yes. Yes. Here they have another rumor. They speak of the Migo, the abominable snowmen. These are creatures that I believe have dwelled down into folklore, but are the same creatures, these alien entity traveling throughout our place, building bases, seeking minerals, and corrupting the fine men and women that find them, using them to their own dire purposes and keeping their existence secret. Yes, these are all the same.
And it seems like oil and chemical is a front for their operations on this planet.
Perhaps. They have encountered them time and time again. It stands to reason that they may have. But it would be difficult to create a whole. If they needed to export it across trains and things, then surely. But they have crafts far beyond ours. I've not witnessed them, but I was spoken to of means to fly through space. They do not need vehicles. They could simply fly. With such things, I do not know.
Maybe it's people. Maybe it's people trying to emulate them and take their technology for ourselves.
Or they need it to try and find the technology, the minerals rather. They have a whole planet. They might, if they have an established mining force on the planet that is going around doing things like we were forced to do, tracking down the location of these minerals. Well, then
a front or patsies or whatever you want to call them.
Or oil and chemical can contact the Migo and let them know when they've found it. I'll turn to Joe and I'll say, I bet if we went back to Cobb's Corners, followed the information that they now know about, we'd find a mining operation up there.
Almost certainly.
They're in the foothills. These same ones are those that I encountered and my friend some time ago, but they did not wish us to dwell. Everything they did drove us away, drove people away. They sow rumors and dissent. They want the people to leave. I fear that with the growth of man and our never-ending drive for industry and to define the indefinable, we will clash in time, and there is only so long they can keep themselves hidden. Perhaps their intent here is to draw that time out a little longer, and they will have no qualms with casualties. To them, we are a small and insignificant place, a blot on a map that can easily be wiped away.
They're taking people, they're inhabiting people, wearing the skin like suits. It's.
Listen,
You can trust no one. No one. You understand me? Their technologies are grander, and they have powers, weapons, tools which you can barely begin to comprehend. Dr. Armitage is a friend of mine, and I have others who have seen similar things. Not quite the same, but there is much more to this world, to this reality, than we give credit to. Look to the edges of the space. Look to the strange things in the newspapers, and you'll begin to find the truth in there. It's scattered and hidden, and most people don't quite understand it, but it's there. He begins to get like
enough truth.
He gets like a sheet of paper. He's like frantically writing something and a letter to Dr. Armitage. And as he gets to the end of it, he gets a wax. A wax candle, lights it, and then folds the paper over and drops the wax across it. Fumbles in a desk, pulls out, and gets a ring with a thick round signet, and on it is a black skull. And he takes it and he presses it into the parchment, and then he gives it to you and he goes, Dr. Armitage will trust this, he'll know it's my word. And he takes it back off and hides it in the desk again. And there's others which are friendly to us, Dr. Rice in languages and Dr. Francis Morgan in archaeology, but they have their own concerns and perhaps best not disturb. Speak with Armitage. He's the most sensible. He'll know what to do. He has access to tomes, and if they will help you in what you need, then I have no doubt that he will give them to you. Okay, we'll go quick. Thank you, Professor Wilmarth, and we'll make sure this doesn't come back to you. Yes, go quietly. You say Professor Harold was seen. Did he ever? He's in there with them. Yeah, and Wilmarth too. Wilmarth is involved. Drat. I've watched Harold come and go. His house is only across the street. He keeps odd hours. He does not come home as he used to. I believe he is sleeping elsewhere. Oftentimes, I've been watching him ever since he made the trip, ever since he organized this expedition.
He'll be one of them then.
So few people to trust.
Insert.
If they've been here for a time, they'll know that there's only a matter of... They'll be gathering information. Again, they're scientists, they're intelligence. They'll want to know as much as they can before they act. They'll want every advantage. But if they've had their time to search already, then perhaps it is drawing close.
If he's sleeping somewhere else, then, Joe, we need to come back here at night. But listen, thank you, Professor Wilmarth, and we'll go speak to Armitage.
Go. Be safe, be quiet, and don't be seen near me. Please, don't contact me again unless you dreadfully, absolutely must. And then,
We'll do it by letter. We'll do it by note. We won't.
yes.
And
Correspondence can be monitored and intercepted. There are agents in the post offices, I believe. They look for packages coming and going with information and secrets spread across the globe, and they take them so that they cannot be spread, and so that we are left alone in the dark. They know that our strength is together, and they try to drive us apart.
Worst part about this is that I believe every word you say.
And just to confirm before we go, and if I can flip open my journal, which is becoming a little tome in its own right at this stage, I would like to show the copy of the photograph from Cobb's Corners that I have, and the scratching of the cave drawing, the rock drawing that we found, and show those. This is them, right? The Migo.
You shout. You like stands and goes, yes. Same thing. I saw one night, but unable to be photographed before. They something about them sheds off the chemical. They cannot be captured by our mundane light. But your friend here, is it some new chemical or something? Perhaps a balance. He's been able to photograph them. I don't want this. I don't want this. Yes, you have it. You understand it. Just pursue it on your own. And I rather think I might take a leave of absence for the next little time.
Might be a good idea.
Get away.
Good luck, Professor Wilmarth, and thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming. Yes. He stands up. You best be going.
Yeah.
We shall depart.
She's lots more stable after having a bit of a sit.
A little lie down.
Yep.
Yeah.
We couldn't trouble you for a Cthulhu Mythos advancement roll.
Absolutely. I was going to say, could you please both make sanity rolls first of all? Just a little bit of information dumped, and it's in a palatable format, but...
You're still indefinite, aren't you, Joe?
Yep, so that is going to send you over the edge. So why don't both of you take... Jim, Katie, you're fine. Joe, why don't you take... just a point. It's delivered in a sane method, so take 1 point of sanity loss, but that is going to trigger a bout of madness, as you are currently in a fairly vulnerable position. So could you then go ahead and roll a d10 for me?
Oh my god.
I love this.
And this is the not in real time one, which is always exciting, right?
Yep.
Very cool.
And Katie, you're with her, so we can see how things unfurl.
Oh, fantastic. Joe, please don't attack me.
I do not wish to be struck. Sanity. All right.
Any mythos points on the tail end of that?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And I just want to resolve this. Okay, sorry. That one doesn't really suit, so I'm going to go through. I think, Joe, you hear John's voice much more closely, and it's beginning to speak to you insistently. It's going to tell you, this is only the beginning. We need to look into this closer. You're beginning to crack it now, and there's momentum. You can't let this stop. You need to keep looking. You need to keep searching. There's no time for rest. People are going to be hurt like me. People are going to be hurt like me. They're going to be trapped, and you don't have time to wait. Basically driving you forward, and you are exhausted. It's been a long day. You need to sleep, but there's this constant pushing in the back of your head. Okay.
I don't want to.
Katie, you can see Joe's a little, out of it by the time you leave.
You feeling okay?
I'm great. All right, fine. We just need to we just need to keep going. We've got to go back to the library now and give this to Armitage and get the books we need. And if we need to keep moving on this, because it sounds like things have escalated pretty quickly.
Yeah,
What Wilmarth was saying, and they're just going to keep escalating. If they can take over 5 people, they can take over 500 people, right? You know, everybody here is at risk. Everybody on the campus, everybody in the city, everyone's at risk.
We're gonna sort this out. You know, it's okay. You're
What if that's their goal? What if to take everyone over and have? I mean, as people are proliferating across the planet and making it harder for them to get their mineral. What if that's what they want to do? Just take everybody. Be easier, right?
Whatever their plan is, we can figure it out. We can stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, and Joe, if you remember,
let's go. And Joe's just going to start like walking across
campus
to back towards the library.
Okay. And I'll follow after. I think Katie was so into saying you're not crazy to herself that she kept wanting to say it to Joe, but Joe kind of looks crazy.
Joe kind of looks crazy right now.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Katie and Joe begin to head back across campus and towards the library as in a long town car, Seb and Chaz are jammed into the back with Robert Blaine between them and Harry Higgins sitting across from them. I think this car is too large for the 1920s. I'm not sure it exists. So it's a cool custom mafia vehicle for getting goons around and delivering guys for gunfights and such. It's pretty goddamn sweet. Do you say anything?
Mafia clown car.
They just come out one after the other with shotguns. Do you say anything to one another as you're traveling? Do you speak to anyone, or are you kind of like watching a little nervously as you head over the river and for an unknown destination?
Chaz wants to give the impression about how friendly he is with Higgins and how comfortable he is with this situation. Like it's all part of the plan. We're all on the same page. And it goes very well.
Yep, so you're trying to sort of like buddy up a little bit and just like shoot the shit. Talk about the recent, the cool hangs you've had and stuff. Seb?
Who is in the vehicle with us?
The 2 people that got you, one of them, the woman has gotten into the passenger seat and is occasionally looking back towards you. And then there is another like goon driver, and then in the back it is the 2 of you, Blaine and Higgins.
Okay, so it's just in terms of like people who are not friendly or people we can absolutely punch. There's really only the driver and the woman.
Yeah.
Okay. Seb is going to kind of partially reel, kind of close his eyes a bit and rest, because he is the fatigue of consistent muscle contractions in weird ways that he's trying to like stretch out has taken its toll, and he doesn't have a lot of energy to kind of engage, but he will listen to Chaz and Higgins. He will listen for any ramble that Blaine does, and he'll listen for any conversation that happens in the front, and he's just eyes closed,
paying attention.
But yeah, he's paying attention to what's going on around him, while also that's about the energy he has.
Sure. From the front seat, they don't really talk too much. There's a couple of idle words and like confirmation of directions and where they're planning to go, and you get the impression immediately that it's across the river and towards like the dockside. There's somewhere where everyone's going to reconvene. They don't talk much. Blaine is kind of like mumbling a little bit to himself and fairly out of it. He's probably just basically still fairly drunk. You could try so you don't really need to listen or to hear anything. You can hear it all fine. You could try psychology if you wanted to be like getting a read, or you can just say that you're getting like a surface vibe. It doesn't always need to be a roll on things.
Yeah, just surface vibes, I think. At this stage, it is very much narratively, Seb is tired and is taking a moment to recharge any energy he can before going into what is quite possibly going to be a rather tense negotiative kind of conversation with some people who could kill him. So
Totally makes sense.
he's kind of like doing the, all right, just gonna be extremely charming and persuasive, but right now, introvert moment, please. Okay,
Perfect.
great.
Jackson, did you want to clarify something?
I would like to try to get a read on
Yeah,
Higgins
certainly.
in particular, just
So-
to see if it's working.
So as you're talking, what do you like? So you're talking, and he seems to be like kind of surprised to see the two of you. He leans over and like conspiratorially says like, "What the hell were you doing in an Italian place? Don't you? Surely the bicycles and the people sipping espresso tipped you off. You know they're like
Yeah.
fairly strong rivals.
Well, someone tipped us off. Someone tipped us off. We could find Blaine there.
Who tipped you? The Italians?
know.
How'd you know them?
We got this note.
Because I think I've still got the note, I'll reach
Yeah.
into my, like, again, eyes closed, not really paying attention, just like reach in and like kind of hold out to anyone who wants it,
Yeah.
the note.
Yeah, it's got the note.
I
Don't know if it's the Italians, don't know if someone else. Someone else just wanted us to know Blaine was there. And, someone tell you to come pick up some garbage, you come pick up some garbage.
mean, the Irish, they thought they knew him. I went to go and speak to my uncle. He wouldn't see me not yet, and I got put onto his lieutenant, the man who runs most of the day-to-day stuff. And I was telling him, I tried to tell him, I'm sure I was drinking a bit, and sure I was, a little out of sorts, but I was just trying to get over what happened. I told him it was Blaine was the one who screwed this all up for us, and he was the one that, got me in this situation, almost expelled and did all these strange and dire things. And I think I lost him somewhere around the echoing voices and the night in the cathedral and things. I think what he really grabbed was, this is Blaine's fault, and sort him out, and maybe everything will go back to rights, or at least send a message to whoever there is.
That's kind of how we're feeling too. So seems like we're all on the same page, all in agreement about this dickhead. So yeah, it's gonna go well. Where are we going, by the way?
North side. There's a hideout. Back of a.
Oh great, we're gonna see your uncle there.
Not my uncle. No, we'll be speaking with the lieutenant. I don't think Uncle's gonna come down for this
All
one.
right.
But
So what's this lieutenant like? Anything you
he's-
got to worry about?
fairly serious. You would have seen him in the other car. He's the fellow with the bag. It's Mordecai
Yeah.
O'Leary. He's not a fellow to be trifled with. He runs
No,
most of the physical stuff here in Arkham. He gets things going while my uncle manages, day to day and sensible things, getting money flowing back and forth and things. O'Leary's the hammer, if you'll understand my meaning. He makes sure things get done, and he's the one that assigns punishments where they're due. He'll be the one that we're talking to.
Gotcha. But does he like you all right?
Yeah, he likes me fine. I think. I mean, I'm family, so there's only so far things will go. Unfortunately, the two of you ain't so much family, so tread
Oh,
lightly.
come on, Higgins. You and me, we go way back. What are you talking about?
I agree. I'll and as you said, you three of you helped me that night. As far as I'm concerned, that's the only reason I'm not one of them mindless goons at the moment. So I
Yeah,
owe you.
yeah.
I'll stick my neck out as much as it goes, but if he swings, I just hope I don't get caught in it as well. Just tread carefully, all right? And don't ask for too much. I tried to say, I suggested the idea of, firepower and stuff, and was fairly soundly ignored. But say you're sorry. Give him Blaine. That'll be
Sorry?
just let that be done. Hey, you're on.
Wait. What are we sorry for?
Well, you're
what have we done wrong?
With the Italians, man, it doesn't look good. He's not gonna care that you were just there by accident or whatever. I mean, you sought him out. You found the club. People need to be in the know to get down there.
All right, but I'm just saying, we were all trying to do the same thing here. We were at that club. You were at that club. These guys were at the club. We're all just trying to do the same thing at the same time. Nothing wrong with that.
I agree. So tell him that. Say, hey, we're
Alright.
just there for Blaine, and hey, look,
Alright.
here he is. We're
Hey,
giving him to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Great.
he'll take
All
him.
right.
He'll do whatever he needs to do with him, and then two of you can walk free. And we can all get out of this. Yeah, quiet.
Good talk.
All right, good talk.
Great.
Good talk. Hey,
Fine.
what's going on with Seb? Is he alright?
Well, you got hit by lightning.
Oh, I'm
What?
I'm fine, Higgins. Just
You got hit by what?
Got hit by lightning.
like
Light-
You know, zappy zappy?
Yeah, no, I'm familiar. That just sounds like sort of lethal kind of thing.
yeah.
Waves a hand in front of your face, but you can see
I'll
the light
I'll
shift
just
over your
like
life.
crack. Yeah, I'll crack an,
He wrenches it back. Cool. Yeah, no worries.
It probably should have been lethal, but
But instead, just gave him, maybe some kind of lightning powers. We don't know yet. We're watching and waiting.
No, mostly it's given me a lot of musculoskeletal pain and tiredness for the most part.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Oh, and possibly, if I heard the doctors correctly, intermittent seizures if I'm really unlucky, possibly heart failure and maybe some brain issues. Not sure.
But we're looking on the positive side now.
At this point, the woman swings around, and she goes like, "Right then, bag time." And a couple of bags are chucked in the front, and she goes, "Over the heads, let's go." And Higgins goes like, "Sorry, secrets and stuff, right?" And he gets one and begins to pull it over Blaine's head. Exact location's kind of, a little shaky, and you are with the Italians.
Oh.
Hey, good news, this means you might be leaving.
All right. I can get into this. That's weirdly excited. I don't know why, but
Like
again,
a movie.
Seb is
Yeah.
like, look, I don't have a problem with this as much as
Oh, that's
I
good. He starts
do
beginning to
have
pull it
some.
up.
I'm gonna be like, I do have some problems with balance and walking right now, so either I'm gonna need to be led, or I'm gonna need to be able to see at least my feet.
Yeah, no problem. Listen, when we get there, Higgins will walk you in, and once we're inside,
Alright.
you can take it off. No issues. No one's falling in.
No worries.
oh, I'm sorry. So rude. Chaz Dedrick.
Hey, Wendy Kelly.
Yeah.
Played Wendy Kelly the one shot.
She takes no nonsense.
No nonsense.
No nonsense.
Catchup on youtube.com/Chaosium Inc. to see how one shot
Mischief's playthrough these
Oh,
disastrous
Mischief.
gangsters.
Yeah. We
Uh,
haven't had a chance to introduce Tallboy, but Avenge.
Leutch.
Leutch.
So you pull the bags on, and you can, from now it's going based on sounds and smells. You feel it being rocked a little bit. You can hear water lapping, and you're driving along the dock somewhere. There's a bunch of warehouses along here, and what they're probably just doing is obscuring the exact one. They're not trying to hide the whole thing, but just so you can't pinpoint and finger it to a cop or anything. That said, if either of you wanted to try a navigation roll, you could try and figure out where you are. I don't know that would be at all smart, but it could be kind of cool.
No, Chaz wants to add to the illusion. This is the true mob experience right here, and he is all
Authentic.
for it.
All right,
yeah.
awesome.
Seb is concentrating far too hard on not falling over and keeping himself upright with the assistance of Higgins. So no, he is absolutely not trying to work out where he is right now. He's trying to work out where his feet are.
Yeah. All right. The car pulls up and draws to a stop. You can hear water lapping, and when you're let out, there's the smell of foul from the river and stuff, and you're walking along some docks and things. You can hear creaking of hoisted lumber and stuff, and a couple people yelling from different areas where work is being done. Seb, you're helped out by Higgins, who gets under one stand and goes right then, just follow me, we're going this way. Chaz, you get out and you're just kind of trusted to walk with your hand held out. You get put one on the back of Sebastian or something to keep direction.
I'd like to keep one hand on Blaine.
Blaine
if I
is not
can.
coming the same direction as you.
Oh,
as Blaine gets brought
no.
out, you put one hand on him, and Wendy goes, "Yeah, I'll take him. Give him here," and moves Blaine and goes, "Sure, you've seen it. I'm sure you'll see each other soon." And he begins to be brought to another section.
All right. Gonna miss you, Blaine.
I'm not.
You get directed inside, and you can hear you're in a large open space. Everything that gets spoken echoes, and you're both directed to take off the bags. You are in a warehouse, but it's completely empty on the interior except for a couple boxes stacked up. There's a few lights high up on the ceiling, enough to give the place, mainly just to throw shadows around, really. It's not illuminating anything. And in the center of the room, the complete perfect middle, is this really nice heavy wooden table. with a chair, like a velvet, comfortable high-back chair towards the back, and seated in there is the same man who was negotiating with the head of the Italians recently. Slick back hair, a nicely printed suit, and he's got one leg over it, and in one of his hands he's holding a like claw-backed hammer, and you can see all along the table there's a bunch of dents where it's been impacted into it in the past, and he's sort of like spinning it in a fairly menacing fashion. Higgins like points over to him and goes, "That's the hammer." And then like feels the vibe and shuts up.
Yeah, he so just looks at him and raises an eyebrow, like, evidently.
Sorry, obvious. And he steps back a little bit. Wendy is not here. Lurches still. That's her brother is watching over. And there's a couple of other scattered goons. There is a side door which leads to like back things, and it's just you hear it closing. Blaine's probably been taken in that direction. The large man, Mordecai, like points the hammer towards the two of you and then gestures you to walk forward. As you come, he goes,
I take my sweet ass time because I cannot move very quickly
Yep.
at the moment. I'm bloody tired.
Yep. So you're like
So I'll
moving
just,
slowly
like,
with like the cane.
Yeah, leaning, like, also, no, I don't think Seb's playing it up. I think it is actually
Yeah.
that tiring right now because we've had already, it's not been that long, but it's been long enough for Seb.
He waits for the two of you to approach. He kind of like lets the tension build a little bit as you're approaching. It's a slow thing. There's no chairs for either of you on the other side. So once you get there, you have to like lock your knees and plant the cane and kind of like assume the most comfortable position you can find. But you feel like a twinge down your back as you're doing it. He looks at the two of you and he goes, "Right, names then. You'll be two of Higgins' friends."
That's right. Chairs Dedrick at your service, sir. And may I say, at the very top of the morning to you.
Suppose you may. What about you, fancy feller?
I'll give a brief nod and say, Mr. O'Leary, pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Sebastian McCarthy.
Familiar with your father? Not worked with him directly, but I've ran around him a couple times. I know your line. So, which of you wants to explain why you're talking to the Italians and why you're going after my man?
Very easily, sir. I'll pull out the note again and say, we were delivered this. We don't know by whom. We don't know. We sort of know why. We don't know by whom. They gave us an address. We went there because, as I believe Higgins has told you, Robert Blaine had something to do with the rather disastrous events of Cobb's Corners, and we as well are kind of interested in what he has to say about the whole affair. For probably more minor reasons than yours, we prefer not to get expelled, essentially. So we went to where the note told us to go. Realized relatively quickly where we were, but we were given permission to go and collect Blaine, and we're in the process of trying to get him out when you arrived. So, as far as we're concerned, we'd like to get more information out of him, but I understand we're not exactly in a position to negotiate, so he's yours, of course.
All of which is to say, we got the same goals here, and I think will be mutually beneficial for us to work together.
That's good to hear. What are my goals then?
Oh, well, we
Just
figured...
kind of like pat Chaz on the arm a little bit. Okay, buddy.
Well, we figured that, Blaine, the Joker, was messing things up for both us and for Higgins. And, assuming that it's beneficial for you and your family to have Higgins at the university, ...
Sure, so what were my goals then? What were I gonna do?
Well, I wouldn't seek to presume, only to say that you wanted Blaine. You got Blaine. Hey, we wanted Blaine. We got Blaine. What's beyond that? Well, fair enough. It's a mystery to me. But we've arrived at this. We've arrived at this stage. We've arrived at it together in a spirit of cooperation. I think we keep that going.
May I?
Sure. He will also, as you were talking one point, he looks over and you will spot Wendy nod when you just say the circumstance that he was found, like he verifies that. He looks over to you, Chaz, for a while as you're talking and seems to be taking it. There is like light amusement, but it's also like slightly threatening because the hammer sort of like swings down a couple times as he's watching. He's the sort of person that's amused as a cat killing a mouse is amused, you know? Like, you don't know how sinister things could turn. He looks to you, Sid, though, and permits you to speak.
My assumption is that you plan to make an example or send a message. If that is the case, feel, I guess, obliged to let you know that I am not sure killing or maiming Blaine is going to send a message to anyone, because he is essentially a fall guy, from what I can tell.
Well, from what I understand, he was the one that organized this expedition where it all went wrong. He was overseeing things and they weren't tended to.
That
Seems
is
like he's the man to me.
not wholly incorrect, but there was a professor who signed off on the expedition and was the one to do a bunch of cleanup, which is why we're all in a bit of shit. There was a number of students that went from being friendly to suddenly working alongside Blaine and this professor, and Blaine is a drunkard. If he failed at doing anything, it was because he was too drunk to pay attention. Think incompetence rather than maliciousness. By all means, make an example of him for his incompetence. I'm certainly not gonna say I would be sad to see him receive what he deserves, but I just think it reasonable to let you know that this is not going to affect the people who are actually behind what's going on.
Looks like you found a full-blown conspiracy then, Harry. People in all echelons of the university all conspiring against you because you don't do your homework. Or whatever the hell is going on here.
Seb does actually laugh, like just a little bit under his like breath.
Make it clear, I'm gonna deal with Blaine. He's gonna be sorted, and he moved against family, so he's gonna be punished for it. Professors, I'm less liable to go after in the street, but we can make things difficult for them, sure. I'm not gonna go on your word alone, but Harry said similar, and while he was rambling drunkenly, I got some sense out of him. Seems like they're planning something or another, and they're moving around. Something sinister, seems to be suggesting. What do you want with Blaine? You handed him over. I appreciate that. You made things not as difficult as they needed to be, but you demanded to come with. And I didn't want you here. And here you are, in my territory, making things more difficult than they need to be. What do you want?
Payback.
Payback?
Yeah.
You're a bloodthirsty man, then.
He framed me for murder.
How bloodthirsty
He
are
made
you?
my life difficult. You got a cop on my tail. He's got a cop watching my back all day long, thanks to him. He took my freedom away.
I can fucking appreciate that. You're a man who's been sinned against, and so you want to right the wrongs. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I know how to talk to the gangsters.
I can give you some time
Chaz,
with
you are
him.
gonna get this is like they're gonna ask you to murder someone.
I can give you some time with him, sure. You can rough him up a bit. You can make your mark before I make mine. And I tell you what, kid, you prove yourself here. I've dealt with dirty cops before. I'll deal with him as well. How'd you like that? How'd you like to be a real
Well,
man?
To be quite honest, sir, I would like that very much. And I thank you for the opportunity.
All right. So he's
That's the most
simple.
polite thing
Yeah.
that Chaz has said in the last 10 years.
He's simple. I understand him. He's been wronged and he wants to right them. That makes sense. You're less clear. What do you want? And I know your
I want-
family, so don't fucking threaten me with them.
Oh, no, sir, I have no intention of threatening you with my family. If anything, I actually hope to form some kind of acquaintance, but currently as to what exactly I want right now, That little fuck and everyone associated with this business has besmirched my family name, or has tried to through me, and I won't have that.
You're wrong there as well. So what do you want?
He's wronged my family. More so than me. It's a name, sir. I'm sure you can appreciate that.
I can appreciate it. And kid, I do suggest you look a little closer in your family history. It's been plenty wrong before.
Oh, I'm aware that we've been wronged. I am also aware that we're still very much on top.
Yeah. We'll see for how long. Right, so you both want to turn with the boy.
I want information from him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we want to go with him when he's got his wits about him. It's not much good to us if he's just gonna, ramble word vomit.
Right, okay. Well, we can make something like that happen. Sure. Yeah, sure. Can you both at this point make, I think persuasion will be the most sensible. One of you can roll it with the other one assisting if you want, or you can each roll and get a couple shots at it.
You're pretty persuasive, right, Sebastian?
It's one of my higher skills.
And Chaz has definitely assisted. He's definitely made a...
I could see
made a
Chaz
good
trying to intimidate, being like, I'm a big guy, look how tough I am.
I'm technically more charming than I am persuasive, but I am
I think
certainly
it's more
capable of it.
striking a deal on this one.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, yes.
Also subtly, I don't know whether this came through, and I don't care if it's too subtle. Like, you can ignore it, but I am also subtly trying to imply that, my family is wealthy, your family is connected, and
Let's do business.
essentially, like, I don't want to be part of your gang, but I do want a business relationship.
Sure.
And you can't argue with an extreme now, can
No,
you?
you can't. Well
You,
done.
you can't argue with two
Double
extremes.
Extreme, the bonus confirmed it. Awesome. Damn. All right.
They add up to a crit. I'm pretty sure that's how this works.
I'm not sure that's right. Okay, so you talk to him. You make it clear in his words. They wronged you. You want to even the score. He's going to keep Blaine at the end of all this, and he's going to make his own mark, make sure that all gets cleared up and things. But you'll both get a chance to talk to Blaine first. Here's the thing. We're not going to run a torture scene or anything. I don't want to do that, and it's just not something we're just not going to do it. So what we're going to do is you guys will just talk to him and stuff. He knows he's in a compromised position, and then you're going to leave him with the mafia, and we'll see what happens there. And that depends how that sits with you as well, because they definitely make it pretty clear that they're going to make it. They don't even know who they're sending a message to. Basically, he wronged them, and he's not going to be able to do that anymore. So you talk for a little bit. Higgins comes forward to corroborate a little bit. And after a while, you're going to be led into a room with Blaine. You will be being monitored. There'll be one of the Kellys, the twins, watching you and just making sure you don't do anything a little too cheeky. But Blaine has sobered up a bit, and you can talk to him. What do you want to say? When you come in, he's like slouched in a chair. His hands are unbound, but his feet are both tied to the chair, so we can't get very far. And the two of you are expected to like sit a little bit away from him so that he can't make a lunge or do anything stupid. He's got a cup of water seated in front of him that he's drank a little bit of, and he's beginning to sober up, but he's still in like that pretty, drowsy, out of it headspace.
I'll slide into the chair and sort of, put my weight in it, because again. Alright, well, hello Robert, again. You've made this whole thing incredibly complicated, and I hate you. But I think that's reasonable. I hate a lot of things right now. What the fuck is going on? How is the deputy involved? Who else is in on this? Why are you involved outside of Daphne? What the fuck is going on with Daphne? Just what the fuck is up with that, entirely.
Why should I tell you any of this? It's all gonna end soon enough anyway. If there's a
It's
chance,
crazy, but we like not knowing what's going on when it ends.
I'd rather, even if it all went wrong, even if they don't listen to me, even if I'm not included, I'm just happy she's out there somewhere.
She's not out there, Blaine. She's not. She's gone. Something else is in her head. she's fucking gone.
Oh, she is. She's out there. I've spoken to her. It wasn't the deal, but they did something. They just did it wrong. She's...
No, they did it right. I've seen others. We've met them. They put other people in people's heads. If they took her, she's fucking gone.
Yeah,
and you are responsible for that.
I tried to stop her going back. I told her how much she meant to me, how much I cared, and she just fucking threw it all away. And so she went back out there and things went wrong, and hell, maybe that's just karma.
Well, maybe if you hadn't been drunk, she wouldn't have left.
Yeah. Maybe. Listen, I don't know everything about what they're doing. I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, Daphne was the only reason I was involved, and they ruined her for me, and I don't hardly want anything to do with it anymore, but those people that came back, you know they ain't your friends.
We figured it out by now.
The folks they've collected, there's some people, they're loyal to them. I don't know where they began. I don't know if they were people first or if they were monsters to begin with, but they're loyal, and they're all being sent here to, I don't know what. They wanted access to the university. They were looking for, hell, something only gets got. Information, stores. I couldn't tell you. She's still in charge though, and she's still running things. I don't care if she doesn't listen to me, but you should talk to her. She's the only one that'll try and put you. She knows what's going on.
Why would she help us?
She won't. She never will. She was turned by those fucking demons. They turned her against me. They took what we could have had, and they turned it to nothing. And now she's some stuffy fuck, pretending not to even recognize me. And I don't want nothing to do with that. And she just... They ruined everything. God damn it.
What did the deputy promise you?
Contact. She went out. She spoke to... She went out, she went missing. We'd seen something weird the first time we went up there. Lights in the distance, and we'd heard the rumors, same as you. I thought there was a chance maybe she was out there. I threw myself into learnings, reading strange things. I went out there myself. I tried to look for her, and there was no body. And that's not how our story ends. We're in love. We find each other at the end of this. So I went back and I did some reading. Put some things together. Realized there's a little more to what's going on, and I went to Cops Corners and I spoke with the deputy. He said there was people he could contact. Folks I met with. Weird, horrible folks. Drone and send you right to sleep, and then in the dreams they'd make it all so clear, but they said I bring them the students. Bring them the bodies and I'd have her back. Daphne.
What did you put together, Blaine? You said you did research. What did you find?
There's things in the hills. They've been there for years. They're all over the place, and I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're demons like the natives thought they were. I don't know if they're fucking aliens, or hell, maybe they're just people that went weird. I don't know. But they're powerful, they're strong, and they got real ability. None of it's fake. So I threw my lot in with them. Why wouldn't I? I thought we had a promise. I thought they'd give her back to me, not like this.
Oh, Robert, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'd given him you two as well. And a little friend of yours. Maybe if I completed the set, this would have been right.
Maybe, but guess what? You were drunk and you fucked up. You didn't give him, and you're not gonna get an opportunity to do it again.
He tries to like retort, but you can see like tears welling. and he just like lashes out towards you. He tries to throw a punch, but shackled to the chair legs, he falls forward and like onto the ground in front of you. He can't get within range, and he's just screaming profanities and how he would have given up every student at the university if he could have had her back. They were promised to one another. They were in love.
I'm gonna kneel down, and like when he's done ranting, I'm gonna like look him in the eye. Well, guess what, buddy? Some love stories end up miserable because the two people involved did stupid shit that they now can't undo. And trust me, I know because I've done it.
Not mine. Not my fucking story.
I'm gonna stand up. I will stand up. Chaz may need to help me stand up.
Yeah.
I
do
like
like-
You get up.
struggle a little, yeah, and I'm just gonna turn around to. Did you say Lurch is in the room?
Yeah, Lurch.
Achilles wins.
I'm gonna look at Chaz and say, unless you have anything else you want to ask, and then I'll look at Lurch and just say, here's all yours.
He does like Chaz as you help Seb up, and he turns away. He like tries to grab at your trousers as well, Chaz. He's going like, wouldn't you have done the same? You think you're better than me? You think you're better than me?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And the
No,
sooner you
actually.
accept that, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner you give up, the sooner things are gonna get easier for you.
He just like collapses into sobs and screams. Most of it's profanity directed at the two of you. How unfair the world has been to him. How he doesn't deserve what this is. He did everything right. They betrayed him. This ain't fucking fair. And as Lurch like opens the door to like gesture the two of you out, it's fairly
I look
final.
at Blaine and I go, yeah, I would have done exactly the same thing as you, but when it came to this, I would have held myself like a man. And then I walk out.
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
Chaz?
Like a man. Walk out.
Boy. You guys head outside. Higgins is like watching things a little nervously. Mordecai, the hammer, steps out from behind his desk. He's taken off his jacket and he's rolled up his sleeves. Picks up this little claw hammer. It's a small little instrument. It'd leave punch holes in bones before it'd do anything real lasting. He sees the two of you and he goes, "We're good for now then."
Yeah, how shitty is Seb feeling right now?
oh,
He's still gonna be in one piece when you're through with him, right? Because we might need him again. There's still stuff he might know or might remember.
Chaz?
You're not seeing him again. No one
Wait,
is.
what?
He's done, kid.
Come on, buddy.
That's what happens. You make
Well,
deals with the devil.
Well, hold on. He might still, but he could help.
Yeah. And you'll scream him as he dies. Now go on, get out of here. Put your bags back on. You don't want to find this place again.
Mr. O'Leary?
Don't push your luck.
Oh, no, I just thought you might be interested in some information we found.
Go on.
Maybe you should check out someone by the name of Daphne Devine. And then I will
Okay.
walk on out.
You're gonna walk away. Chaz, do you pause? They're gonna kill him.
You're muted, mate.
Just didn't know they were gonna kill it. that subtly went right over his head.
Yeah.
It's
no,
like
they're-
he just killed him. Oh, is this what being gangsters about?
This isn't fun.
Not as fun as it sounded.
O'Leary
What's up,
walks
Chaz?
past both of you, to the door. It swings open and he steps inside, and then when it closes, it goes to close, and he catches it, opens it again, and he goes, "Come on, Harry. Half this is your fault. Get in here. Make it right." And Higgins like
Oh.
nervously looks around and goes like, I just wanted to go back to." He goes, "In now." Well, then we're gonna go talk to your uncle. And Higgins goes into the room as well.
I will catch eyes with Higgins as he goes.
He looks really
through.
nervous and scared.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't want to do this.
I'm just like, sometimes being part of a family, you gotta do rough things. Good luck.
They both go in, and Wendy chucks bags to both of you. He goes, let's get you home.
Would you mind helping me?
Yeah. She'll help you out to the car.
Before we, like, when we get in, because I know she's the one accompanying me, I will just say, would you mind if I have my, my firearm back? Yeah, I feel safer with it. If not, it's just a request.
I'll chuck it to you when you get out.
Thank you.
Sure. She gets in and begin to drive away. We will just say logically, you're gonna go via, and we'll drop the four of you off together. You can spot each other moving between caverns and things, because otherwise you could these things. Cell phones, what a friggin' idea, right?
Or we could figure out some kind of way to maybe graft organs to.
You can see the convenience, right?
I mean, I think we did all agree.
Yeah,
like,
some sort of communication way.
Seb's house is base of operations, so.
Yeah. But I think we'll go via the universe and you'll see them hence library. First of all, so two things. First of all, Seb and Chaz, you both give me sanity rolls.
Yeah.
And Katie and Joe, can you please both roll a d6 for a Cthulhu Mythos game?
Yeah. Now, as this comes up, because this sort of occurred to me as I was turning over things in my head, turning over what we've learned before. 3, pretty good. We've gone through, and what they keep looking at is old books, old folklore of the area, and we've got this information. We now know the term Migo. We now know that these creatures are from Yuggoth or Pluto, and we have all these bits of information. We've done some reading. We've done a little bit of looking. I've sort of scrambled through some of those books. I also have a pretty decent skill in history and the sciences. Are they looking for, and this is my way out that theory, are they looking for history of meteor impact sites in the region that were turned into cults or something?
It's not a bad idea. You could do some research on that, definitely. It does not perfectly, with the information you have currently, you don't have that information to confirm, but you could definitely check that up. That's a good idea.
Okay. 1d6.
Jackson, go ahead and take a d4, please.
D4.
Nice, Katie. Okay. 2.
That now brings me to 10 Cthulhu Mythos, which is
Nice.
not bad.
Also, if keen-eyed viewers may notice that Seb has lost a single point of sanity. We spoke at the end of the last session, and I had them make a roll due to the deal, slightly unbeknownst to them, that they made for the healing. And even with a success, I figured the knowledge of what had been sacrificed to move forward was enough to at least begin to shift Sebastian's stoic face. All right, a bit of mythos gains, a bit of sanity shaken. Seb and Chaz are able to take the bags off once they leave the beginning of Arkham, and moving along the streets is beginning to nightfall as Joe and Katie, you make your way back. Moving slowly, you needed to rest for a bit, but Joe, you've got that driving voice in the back of your head, heading back towards the library. It's pure chance, but boy is it convenient that the car goes past, and Chaz, you're able to point them out, and Wendy pulls over and will allow both of you to leave, and as you do, reaches out and passes the pistol over to Seb, and then she looks at both of you and she meets your eyes, Chaz, and goes, reckon we might see each other again.
Yeah, here's hoping.
And then
thanks for the help with all that nonsense. There's one thing I hate, I tell you what, it's nonsense.
She taps her nose and goes, kindred spirits, and then the car will begin to pull out and away, and the four of you reconvene. You are off towards the side of the university where no one would really recognize you. You just look like another group of students gathering and chatting on a parkside bench. The sun's beginning to set and you have the evening. We will park the session here, but do you guys, what's immediate, what do you guys talk about as you come back in? I'll pass it to you guys for a beat. And how does there's been some recent reveals and things. What do you all say as you reconvene?
Pass,
Wilmarth.
Share.
Wilmarth knows we need to get to the library now.
Yeah, we gotta go to.
Running out of time. Shit is escalating.
Gotta go to Armitage, and then I think that once we try and foil what's immediately happening here, I think we should head back probably not to Cobb's Corners, but to like Rattleborough or something. I think that the truth lies out there.
I think they're trying to do something here, and we need to stop that. Also, if the mention of Daphne comes up, Joe's absolutely like, Blaine and Daphne. No, Daphne and John were dating.
Yeah, Daphne, Joe, you would know, Daphne absolutely rejected Blaine several times, and he was weirdly insistent about it.
Wow.
Oh
No, Daphne and John were an item. That's what we. Let me tell it.
Whole other layer of creepy.
Yeah.
Well,
they were.
I mean,
they were quite a serious item. That's what we thought about before the excursion. That he had time to date. When he was apparently so serious about his studies, it was a stupid fight. But yeah, I mean, Daphne's lovely, but they were quite serious. Wait, was she involved?
Yeah, she's in charge.
That bitch.
Well, I don't think she was in charge at the time when they were dating, but I do think, you know, if there's some lost little puppy dog that runs around after you, then it's very easy if you are someone else in the body of someone they love to use that as a manipulative tactic to get what you want. I don't entirely, no, I do blame Blaine. He was a fucking idiot, but...
Well, yeah.
Oh, by the way, I do use past tense advisedly.
Oh my god.
Had a minor run-in with both the Italian and the Irish mob.
It's been a
We're
day.
working together?
Oh, Lord, no.
No, see, the Blaine was hiding out with the Italians. The Irish found him just at the same time we did. But, well, I guess the Irish are all right with this for now.
You know, I guess, these matters
Italians
of
might not be.
when things get serious and real, you know, it's much more. It's not my area of expertise. I'll stick to the sciences.
Oh, it's definitely mine.
I mean, it's Blaine, so.
Yeah, I guess. I'm surprised that he was still human at all, to be honest. Thought he would be like any of the others.
Was he though?
I suspect what happened was he was easy enough to manipulate that they had no reason to take over. I mean, why would you bother putting
Maybe he
someone...
pickled his organs so much that there was no point.
I mean, that... Also, it is useful to have someone who does, in fact, appear completely human and normal and no different to the way they were before. It puts credence to the idea that maybe, you know, these people are who they say they are. So it's a pretty good cover.
Also, apparently the best way to fight these things, they're called Migo, by the way. You gotta hit them, like with a bat or something.
Well,
Right.
that's good news.
It was less that's
That's
a good
right.
way to do it, but that might be possible, whereas firearms will be remarkably inefficient.
Do I? Is that something? Is that a name I have heard before? I am pretty occult, like folklorish.
You can make an occult check. Make an occult roll. There's a chance.
I'm not.
He's just saying if it
intact.
rings a bell, so it'll be
Yeah,
limited.
just like does anything ring a bell? I'm gonna assume
Hey,
success.
The name Migo does not. You have not seen that go through anywhere. You have seen rumors about the recent events. The discovery of the planet has had people talking about like astrology things and like ties to that. But one of the names that Katie can drop that was mentioned by Wilmarth is the abominable Yeti. Is one, and it appears that these have some tie to that, being strange things seen in high up places, only like a phasey silhouette, and believed to be something else. So perhaps this is the birth of certain myths. But the Migo themselves are kind of a bit like a step behind a lot of that, and quite secretive.
Well, I suppose we have a lot of research to do if Armitage will let us into the library.
Oh, I think he will.
You mentioned Wilmarth was working with someone else. I suspect that might have been Akeley, who is currently inhabiting the body of William Noakes.
Yeah. Right.
So, that's terrifying for many reasons.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, I suppose our next step is the library.
Yes,
straight there.
straight there.
Okay.
Chaz, would you mind just helping me a little?
Yeah. Yeah, no problem.
Joe's gonna like offer over the tincture she's been swigging from.
Oh, thanks. I'll take some when we get back to the apartment. I think I'm gonna need my wits.
You do you, and she's just gonna like swing.
As you take like a slug from it, Joe, you can like feel John like standing right next to you. And as you're talking about Devine and John, I mean they were a couple before this all happened, and now he's realized like it's this personal. It feels like your heart's been broken almost by like this revelation, and everything has just got this personal and like, you know, nails being driven through your skin. It's all very real and raw. Katie and Seb are reasonably in it. Chaz, are you a little distracted as this happens, knowing that you gave over a man?
Feel a bit better that, you know, it wasn't even a thing with Daphne, but yeah, that 2 sanity weighs heavily on my soul, I guess you could say.
Yeah. If as we walk over, I will sort of say to Chaz, like, "Are you all right?"
Yeah. No, I just didn't know they were gonna kill him.
Oh.
They're gonna kill him?
Yeah.
I did say past tense.
Yeah, I thought you meant he'd been like exiled from the town.
Yeah, no, it's funny
on
how
a train
McCarthy and the mobsters, they all you know, don't always say what they mean what they say, you know. If you're not paying attention, you know, if you don't have a razor sharp mind, some things just slip under the screen, as they say.
Well, shit, I'm glad I wasn't there.
Well, sometimes when you deal with families, and I like emphasize families, it can get personal.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty personal. Death feels fairly personal.
I mean, it's all right though. He was a loose end we had to tie up, and
No, dude, you
we've
don't.
tied it up.
Peter, the loose people aren't loose ends. He might have been a tool, but he's a human dickbag. Like, you know.
I'm just saying. Now he's one less thing we have to worry about. So let's not spend time worrying about it. All right?
Yeah, right. Sure, Chaz.
All right.
One less piece off the board.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just kind of pat Chaz on the arm, and then
Gonna exchange a possibly worried look with Katie.
Yep.
Library. Come on.
Library.
You have something we can do now. That's what's important.
You all head towards the library across the fading sun as the school day has ended and most of the students have headed off. You'll pass shops on one front of streets where excited kids, you can see like inside, like trying on dresses and getting themselves all preened up and getting haircuts done and getting excited about the coming weekend. But your destination is not quite so pleasant. You're bound for the Orne Library, a dominating Gothic building, and when you arrive, you'll find it beginning to be closed down for the day. The dog at the front begins to stir itself into life, looking out keenly, and after you've seen the smaller and slightly less terrifying canine companion of Wilmarth, you realize that some of these protections are not just against people, but, you know, possibly more sinister intruders. Dr. Armitage will be located, and you can try to speak to him. You have a letter and a strange, like, signet seal on it, which hopefully will carry some weight. And elsewhere inside the library is the fabled restricted collection of Arkham University, Miskatonic University, in which many dread tomes are contained, not necessarily good things to read, but they might give you the edge you need. But we'll pick all that up next session. So well done, you all. Woof. All right.
Finally getting into the restricted collection.
There we go.
And get some mythos points and some nonsense. We got a name for these stupid
Things?
bug things.
I am expecting, David, that next session will come in and you're going to pull out the Miskatonic University board game.
I have had the old Miskatonic University book is awesome. It's got so much cool stuff in there for like just tons of lore and things. So there's all sorts of good stuff around here. It's such a fun setting. Anyway, but still more time to explore it. So we will keep... I don't know what I'm talking about. We'll be back next week. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all so much for watching. And we will see you next week. Bye.